Hi everyone, how are you? In this video I'm going to answer a question I get on my apps pretty often. I would say every day, every other day for sure. And you know, the questions are private, so a lot of people, they don't know that others are asking this stuff. So it's funny because I know that this is so common, but people right after one another, they ask the same question, and I have to keep answering this question all the time, and that is, how do I start a business with no money? And like, the money issue is always, it's always there for entrepreneurs, right? It doesn't even matter if you've raised money or not. You're gonna run out of it, you know, kind of sooner or later, most of the time. So, but generally, most entrepreneurs do not end up raising money. Most entrepreneurs do not have money, that much money to begin with, and they're just kind of trying to hustle and make themselves a living. So the question of how do I get started with no money is, there's a couple of answers. You can try to raise money. There's a lot of ways you can raise money. Loans, grants, investment, working at a job, getting money from revenue. There's a ton of ways. I have videos for a bunch of ways to raise money. There's creative ways to raise money. This video is not quite about raising money, so I'm just going to really quickly skimmed over it. But you should certainly browse my videos and find the fundraising videos because they're pretty insightful, and they help you figure out how to raise money. So one answer is you start a business with no money, so you raise money. The other answer is you start a business and you figure out all the skills that you need to get it going. You know, you figure out maybe if it's technical, you figure out how to make websites and things like that. If it's a physical business, if it's a restaurant business, well, if it's a restaurant business, you will need money. But you know, you maybe figure out how to do most of the skills of the needed skill sets. You maybe learn them. You don't have to be a pro, but you can do them at like 60 or 70% proficiency, and then you can actually accomplish many things and get your business off the ground. And then once it has momentum, you can raise money, or you know, people will join you easier. So you can kind of, and it's actually one of the approaches that I took very heavily. I mean, I adopted this approach for my business. I learned how to make Android apps, iPhone apps. You know, design of my apps is not that good, so I designed a lot of it, and I know it's like to 60% or 70% efficiency or proficiency. I mean, like a real designer could have done much better, but it's workable. So right at this point, and I'm working to improve it. So, and that's like my weakest point is design. And then of course the marketing. I learned the marketing on my own. And then I did really good marketing, right? Right now there's like 250,000 downloads for this app, so I became quite good at marketing. And coincidentally, I share a lot of my marketing advice on my channel with other videos. So things like that. I also had to raise money for it, and you know, I got enough money for. I didn't do the official, like I didn't do the standard kind of fundraising, but I got enough money to get this business off the ground, right? So actually, this is what I did. So I really adopted that strategy. I just figured out all the skill sets. And by the way, it's really helpful because I don't have to rely on anyone. It's good to have help, but if you can do stuff on your own, sometimes it's also a good way to go. So, and of course, the other approach is to minimize. The other approach to starting a business with no money is to minimize, to decrease sort of the scope of the idea. Because often a really bad mistake first-time entrepreneurs make is like, they get a great idea. They think it's going to be the next $1 million idea. And then it turns out that to start this idea, they're going to need like hundreds of thousands of dollars and maybe millions of dollars, right? And of course, they're not going to be able to get it. I mean, it's a dream. In reality, it doesn't work that way sometimes, unfortunately. So what happens in those cases is like, they just end up not starting. Because they're always wondering, how do I start with no money when I need so much money? Well, the way you do it is you get kind of real about it. You start calculating how much money you'll need, and you start, you know, decreasing your business idea. It doesn't mean that your business idea will always be small, because you can have your large goal, and it's actually really good to have your large goals, those ambitious goals that make you like daydream and be happy. Keep those. But know that you'll get to them later. It will take more time because you don't have the money. You gotta start small. But if you start small and you build, eventually you'll grow into that big thing. But if you don't start, you'll never grow into that thing. So figure out how to start that business smaller and figure out a more kind of a step-by-step strategy. You know, like don't do that stuff where like you're like trying to figure out how to become a millionaire in a year, or you know. And I actually see that a lot. How do I actually get a lot of questions? How do I make $1 million in like a year, or how do I make 10 million in 2 years? I literally, people ask that. But you kind of, I mean, if anybody promises you that, it feels like a scam, right? And I mean, so I don't think there's any guarantee for such quick fix kind of schemes. I mean, just work hard, do as much as you can, and then you, after years, if you're lucky and successful, you'll get there. But you gotta work so hard, and it's not gonna be a quick thing usually. There are some cases where it happens quickly, but it's impossible to predict, because if it was impossible to predict, everybody would flock to that, and then it would become so crowded that it would be, again, it would become impossible. See how that works? So in fact, there are such businesses, but they're just so crowded that it's impossible. It's just not impossible, but it's extremely difficult to compete. You know, like, so there's many good ideas, like go sell shoes, right? Yeah, if you're the only retailer of shoes, you would be a gajillionaire. But no, because there's already very strong competitors. It's very difficult to compete. So anytime there's a big opportunity, there's a lot of competitors. So of course, you gotta start somewhere where it's manageable. So those are kind of the 3 ways to answer how do I start a business with no money. You raise money, you kind of figure out how to do most things on your own, so that you don't have to depend on money. You can just, instead of hiring someone or something like that, you can just be scrappy and figure out how to do those skill sets on your own. Or, you know, you can kind of do that last thing I mentioned. So this is it. You know, there's not really, but there isn't a, there's not a silver bullet, and there's like, it's all, each way is not simple, and it's difficult. So I do want you guys to kind of prepare for it mentally, and prepare to work hard. I mean, at the same time, sort of believe in yourself, like you'll get there. It's hard, but it's doable. So, I mean, I feel confident in you guys, and you should feel confident in yourself as well. I mean, you'll get there. It's just that you have to be resourceful, scrappy, hardworking, right? And not like, oh, I just want to, I want to know a way how to get money easily. That way is not the good way. Sneezing on camera. Should I edit this? Nah. Anyway, guys, I hope it was helpful, and I hope that answers the question, if you have that question. So thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel. I give a ton of business advice on all sorts of topics, and of course check out my mobile apps. They're available on iOS, Android, Kindle, Nook, and they cover business ideas, business planning, marketing, and fundraising. So if you're starting a business, these are going to help you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.